Our original lock of the night play for last week was supposed to be Losine Keita as he was going up against Patricio Pitbull. Unfortunately, he does not make weight. Pitbull does not accept any of the percentages that was being offered to him. So the fight gets canceled and we shift our attention to the other big play that I had on the card. Added about a 1.3 more units to that play with Kyle Bahalio, and unfortunately, he's unable to keep up with the striking advantage of Imavov and had almost no success getting to his game. Shout out to Imavov for continuously making improvements in his game. I know he's on a solid streak, but I really thought the fight IQ and overall game from Bahalio would have been too much for Imavov to have success. But Bahalio really just couldn't get to his game, and we have to rip up our lock of the night ticket that night. That brings our lock of the night record now to 44-28 on the year for a minus 1.65 deficit, minus 2.2% ROI. Again, we're just hovering in that black over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, had that giant momentum to dig us out of that hole that we had at the beginning of the year, but I'm really struggling to just get past that black mark and just firmly get into the profit here. So we got a handful of events going down this weekend: UFC, Cage Warriors, OKTAGON MMA, as well as LFA. And I hope to have lock of the night plays for all of those promotions. But more often than not, I do have a lock of the night play for the UFC, which I've already plugged in yesterday for the lock of the night Patreon, folks. And that's where you're going to be able to find it. But for this segment, I'll be giving you guys my top 3 lock of the night candidates. Now, again, it doesn't mean that I'm betting every single one of these, but these are the spots that I would somewhat trust as a lock of the night candidate, but only one of them can be the official lock of the night play. Either drop a comment and try to guess it, or just check out the Patreon page and see what I ended up shooting on. All right, let's get right into it. First candidate up is going to be Santiago Luna, who comes in at minus 130 as he takes on Kwang Lee. Now, this is a bit of a short notice spot for Luna, but this kid is the truth. He's 6-0. Coming from a Mexican wrestling background, his striking has improved at a tremendous rate, and this guy's done a great job in terms of putting fools away. He's really good. I was kind of skeptical as I hadn't heard about him until I started researching him here, and the kid looks like the goods. Initially training in Mexico, seems like he's moved his camp over the last couple of years to California, training alongside Marlon Vera, getting some work in with Jason Perlo and sharpening up his boxing. But this kid is very good with scrambles, and even when he can't land the takedown or get sufficient control time, his power in his hands and the fight IQ in terms of when to let go with that power is very high level, and I think he can do a great job in terms of really putting it on Kwang Lee here and keeping Lee on the defensive. Lee has a Hail Mary knockout chance, but outside of that, I think Luna controls this fight and wins it pretty easily, hence why I would consider him as a potential lock of the night play. The second lock of the night candidate is going to be Kelvin Gastelum, coming in at minus 250 as it goes up against Dustin Stoltzfus. Now, Stoltzfus, very inconsistent. Same can be said about Gastelum, but this is the type of opponent that Gastelum should and will beat. There's the guys that are higher up in the rankings, guys that are much more difficult stylistic clashes for Gastelum, but this is a matchup where he can halt the grappling of Stoltzfus, get to him in the striking realm, land his blitz attacks, and then really start to run away with this in deep water to potentially pull off a knockout in the second or third round. But again, I get Gastelum is inconsistent and untrustworthy at times, but he's not fighting a Joe Pyfer this time around, right? He's not fighting a Jack Hermanson of any sort. He's fighting Dustin Stoltzfus. This is a very winnable matchup for Gastelum, and I would definitely consider him as a lock of the night candidate. The third and final lock of the night candidate is going to come in the main event, and I'm kind of surprised at the amount of love coming in on his opponent, but I really like Gene Silva in this spot. He was up at minus 300 earlier this week. Now he's dropped down to minus 205, so a lot of love coming in on Diego Lopez. Don't really get it. Maybe people are just trying to hack away at the line and try to get it closer to a true line, but I really feel this is a spot that Silva can continue to implement his power striking approach, make it very difficult for Lopez to get any meaningful ground control or even submission threats, and I think from there Silva starts picking away at him on the feet and eventually finds that big knockout to pull off the victory here. Minus 205, not a bad line, as I think that Silva will continue his wrecking streak in the featherweight division until he gets into that title shot contention. This could be one of those fights, but I think stylistically speaking, this is a very winnable fight for Gene Silva. Thus, he's going to be my third and final lock of the night candidate. Only one of these can be the official Lock of the Night play. Again, check out the MMA Lock of the Night Patreon page, link in the description below. Otherwise, I will see you guys later today for the Chalk or Not segment for Noche UFC. See you guys then.